Okay, so what if you could live an entire decade in just 10 minutes? This might just be one of the most unsettling true stories I've ever come across. It's a story that completely blurs the line between what's real and what's in our heads. And it all kicks off with one simple, everyday object that was just wrong. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some hypothetical thought experiment. This was the actual lived experience of one man. And his story, well, it might just make you question the very nature of your own reality. So let's dive into it. This whole thing is based on the incredible and honestly heartbreaking account of a man we're gonna call Jeremy. Jeremy was a college athlete, in the prime of his life. Then, one day, there's an accident. It happens fast, a really hard impact, and bam, everything just goes dark. He's knocked completely unconscious. But what happens in his mind next is not what anyone would ever expect. See, he doesn't wake up in a hospital. He doesn't wake up on the street. Instead, for him, it's like his mind just skips forward. Consciousness just resumes. And life, well, it just keeps on going. A whole new, full, and vibrant life starts to unfold. And look at this timeline. A whole decade plays out in his mind. He meets the absolute woman of his dreams. They fall madly in love. They get married. Then they have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. And together they build this amazing home just filled with love and all these memories. And here's the most important part you have to understand. None of this felt like a dream, not for a second. To him, it was 100% real. He could smell his daughter's hair, he could hear his son's laughter echoing through the house. He had a career he was passionate about, he had friends, he had struggles, he had joys, literally everything that makes up a real life. For a full decade, this was his reality. It was all he knew, a life full of love, purpose, and connection. And then one totally ordinary evening, it all started to unravel because of one tiny, insignificant detail. So he's just sitting there on his sofa, looking around the living room that he shared with his wife for years, and that's when he sees it. Something is fundamentally wrong. It was the lamp, a simple, everyday lamp. But the more he stared at it, the more he realized it just wasn't right. It was like a glitch in the matrix of his entire world. And this one question just took over his entire mind. How could something so familiar, something he'd seen 1,000 times, suddenly look so alien? He couldn't look away. It was like he found a loose thread that, if he pulled it, might just unwind his whole existence. And what's so wild is how specific this wrongness was. He described the lamp as looking totally flat, two-dimensional, like it was a picture of a lamp in a 3D world. The light it gave off didn't cast shadows the right way. It just didn't belong. It was this impossible object that shattered the illusion of his reality. For 3 solid days, that's all he did. His wife was begging him, asking him what was wrong. He ignored her. He ignored his kids. He didn't eat. He just sat there, staring at that impossible lamp. And then it happened. After days of just staring, the lamp suddenly seemed to rush towards him, filling his entire vision. And with this deafening pop, his whole world just vanished into pure, blinding white. The whiteness starts to fade, and he can feel things again. But he's not on his sofa. The life he knew, it's just gone. The 10 years that he lived were completely over. And here's the terrifying truth. His lived experience, a decade, with a family, a home, a whole life. The actual physical reality, 10 minutes, lying unconscious and bleeding on a sidewalk right after the accident. The physical pain was absolutely nothing compared to the emotional trauma. How do you even begin to mourn a family that never really existed? The grief was just crushing. To his brain, his wife and children were real people that he had loved and known for years. And then in a single instant, they were just erased. Okay, so the obvious question here is, how? How is this even possible? How can a human brain construct a decade of super detailed memories and experiences in just a handful of minutes? Well, a scientific concept called subjective time dilation might give us a clue. The idea is that under immense trauma, like the kind Jeremy suffered in his accident, the brain's perception of time can get completely warped. It can literally construct these incredibly dense, complex realities at hyperspeed, maybe as some kind of weird protective mechanism. Jeremy's story is more than just a medical anomaly. It's a deep philosophical puzzle, and it really forces us to look at our own lives and ask a very, very uncomfortable question. Think about it. If the brain has the power to build a world that feels every bit as real as our own, and then just tear it all down in an instant, how can any of us be absolutely sure that our own reality won't just pop and go white? What's your lamp? It's definitely something to think about.